It was only when the military looked in detail at battle stress that an important clue was found. They noticed that frontline soldiers were suffering some bizarre side effects. In the American Civil War, soldiers reported paralysis, but only in the hand that fired their weapon. Similarly, German troops suffered from frostbite, but only in their trigger finger. The key was that these illnesses were not about trying to get away from the battlefield. Any disease from dysentery to foot rot would have done that. These were real physical symptoms of a deep-seated psychological reluctance to kill.
Look at the X right in his belly there. One right there. Put another one in there. Put another. You're too slow. You're too slow. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. You're too slow. Do it again. All right. I have no doubt that you've hit the target.
Listen, I'm just going to wander down.
Lieutenant Colonel Grossman has been studying the problem of non-firers for the last 10 years. According to him, the real horrors of conflict don't happen on the beachheads or in the trenches, but deep inside the human brain. Something at the very essence of their being was stopping our troops from taking life.
The data is solid. Number one, they could do it if they wanted to. Number two, they didn't. So, what conclusion have we got?
Something is going on in the head of our soldiers.
Yeah, something's wrong.
To understand what's wrong, we have to look at how our brain evolved. The newest part, the forebrain, is just under the skull. It's the bit that does all the rational thinking. Deep beneath are the older, more instinctive parts that have been around for millions of years.
People often report that their brain freezes when they're in a terrifying situation. Well, there's a good reason for that. When you're frightened, an older, more primitive part of the brain takes over. Deep inside the temporal lobe, there's a structure called the amygdala, which is basically the threat-detecting organ in the brain. It receives direct sensory input, so if there's an unexpected explosion, information about that sonic event will reach the amygdala within about 12 milliseconds. Having got there, the amygdala can then set off a whole series of responses that may be appropriate to a threatening condition.
But there is a downside to having an older, more primitive part of the brain in charge of us.
We know, physiologically, that when you're literally scared out of your wits, that the forebrain shuts down. There's nobody home. You and I know you can't have an argument or discussion with a frightened or an angry human being. Oh, well, why can't you have a logical, rational discussion with a frightened human being? Because there's nobody home.
I was intrigued. I had to test this. I had to get scared out of my wits and see what happened.
No! You're going to feel your throat dry up. You're going to start shaking. It's all adrenaline, so don't worry. It's pure natural.
John Braun is a martial arts teacher with a difference. He's a bouncer with direct experience of over 100 street fights. He trains for real, scaring his students with the kind of intimidation that they're likely to face from a mugger. John's techniques are based on the idea that when the body's terrified, when the adrenaline's flowing, you can't think, never mind defend yourself. Our first test was to say no 3 times and hit John's arm. He was playing the aggressive punter, me, the bouncer.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
No! I forgot everything. That's the most simple thing. All I had to do was walk out, when he stuck his arm out, hit it and shout no. Just 2 things. That's walking and chewing gum. Completely forgot what I had to do. I was hitting him, hit you there first, I think. Forgot to shout no. I didn't know whether I was supposed to walk past him or stand still. Jesus Christ, my mind just went blank. This is so easy to fuck up. I can't believe it. You know, I walked into that thing backwards, nearly fell over. I wasn't aware of anything else except that big arm and trying to hit it like that.
Yeah, because then it was tunnel vision as well. So that's everything else. Could you see them people down there? You didn't see the bag. Well, obviously, I didn't even see the bag, because once you start, boom, you only see this. What did you see, this?
It wasn't just tunnel vision. It was like a mental tunnel as well. I couldn't have told you what my mother's name was, what day of the week I was born on, or anything like that. All I could think about was that.
But imagine if it's if it's real life, you've only one chance.
To find yourself suddenly relying on your instincts is a novel experience for most modern humans. Dave Grossman's theory is that when soldiers experience this effect in battle, their own primitive instincts actually may be stopping them from killing.
The forebrain, the part of the brain that makes us a human being, is literally, physiologically shut down. And the hindbrain, the part of the brain that's the same as your dog, is in charge. Well, if your dog has a pretty powerful innate resistance against killing its own kind, then maybe our little puppy brain does too.
It seems our brain becomes almost pre-human. Far from being the violent ape, we're more likely to revert to non-killing instincts, something we share with almost all animals. Soldiers get caught between a rational desire to kill for queen and country and a highly evolved biological instinct that says, "Thou shalt not kill."